Hi everyone, Simon Keeling here, and it is Saturday, when is it? 12th, yeah, 12th of October. Thanks again for watching weatherweb.net. Just a reminder that around the screen here there are adverts, and it's those adverts which keep the site free of charge. So thank you for keep on coming back. Thank you for telling your friends about us. Right, a bit of a rant this morning, really, before we kick off. I'm going to take a look at the longer range in just a moment, but you may have already seen some headlines in a well-known national tabloid newspaper, which this morning, I'm going to read the headline too. It says, "Worst winter for decades, record-breaking snow predicted for November." Now, it then has a byline: Brittany's brace for the worst winter in decades, with the first major snowfall expected in weeks. Well, no shock there then, because it's going into November, it's going to be cold, and there will be blizzards across the Scottish mountains, more than likely at some point in November. But what really gets me about this, and it's something that I pick up on quite often, is this just highlights to me the need for us as professional meteorologists and as a professional meteorology sector to have some sort of kite mark in place. Now, we do have an organisation called the Royal Met Society, of which most companies and individuals who are professional meteorologists and amateur meteorologists are members of. And I think really what we need to do is to come up with a code of conduct, really, to stop these ridiculous headlines getting out there. I mean, some quotes that are coming in from this are that first long-range forecast warn of record-breaking snowfall next month. We've got lines in here such as persistent cold snaps and very heavy snowfall and records broken. And also, I mean, another quote from this is that a horror winter scenario is likely to bring another big freeze with copious amounts of snow to many parts. And we've also got a quote here as well that talks about extreme conditions and looking at potentially paralysing winter, the worst for decades, which could at times grind the nation to a halt. Now, what I'd like to know from these people who are quoting these sort of things, and it's not the newspaper's fault, this is the fault of the people who are actually, producing this nonsense and this rubbish. Where's your scientific credentials? Where's your experience? And where's your backup for what you're actually saying to the newspapers? Because to me, this depth of wordage that you're using, if wordage is even a word, is ridiculous. And each time it goes out, it's getting ever more sensationalist. So terms like horror winter, paralysing, this is the sort of thing that for certain companies out there, but even worse than that, for individuals for whom the cold and snow is a problem, is raising blood pressure and raising concerns that really do not need to be there. No responsible weather company would ever make these sorts of statements. So please get out there, tell people what a load of complete baloney this is. And let's get back to proper weather. I'm going to put together some suggestions for what I think should be in a Royal Met Society kite mark, and I think it's something that we should all sign up to, professionals and amateurs alike, because that way we can get these rogue people out of the marketplace. Well, that's my rant for now. Let's get on with the forecast. I should, of course, say just finally that all those companies have got to do that are making these quotes to the newspapers is make email addresses and contact details available via their websites. And then, of course, they could be engaged in conversation about what they're doing and how they can justify their forecasts. Pretty simple, isn't it, really? Anyway, let's get on, shall we? This is the CFS forecast for Birmingham for the next 3 months. It's got temperature on there, which is the red line. That's maximum temperature. Minimum temperature is the blue. And the green is rainfall. Now, of course, I mean, this is 3 months in advance, so you do treat it with a bit of a pinch of salt. But what these are used for is just to monitor over a period of time and to see where the CFS model's going. And what's interesting about this is that once we've got this cold period out of the way in the next few days, look, it lifts temperatures again into the end of October and into November. This is exactly what we'd expect to see with the southwesterly jet stream developing and becoming stronger. And also notice that we get some periods of rain coming in as well through October and into the early part of November. We then see this fall off in temperature during the first half of November, things going cooler. And despite a couple of peaks, actually, the CFS has been trying to make this period from kind of the middle of November through to the middle part of December, actually pretty cool, and tries to bring high pressure in here, look. Then it collapses away here, but then it brings it back in again with very little rainfall, look, through late November, early December. So something to watch there. We'll have some ideas on where we go November, December coming up in the next few days. But the Japanese Met Agency have released their latest ideas, and this is the week 1 forecast of 500 millibar heights. So this is taking us up to Friday the 18th. So this is for this coming week, and what it shows us is lower than normal heights. So quite a deep trough out here in the Atlantic, and this huge ridge here up towards the north of the country, with a trough then going down into western parts of Russia. Also notice here this cut-off low in the heights that we've got down towards the south. Now, you don't just get low pressure associated with low heights, high pressure associated with the centre of high heights, or higher than normal heights. The lows and the highs are shifted off, but these heights do give us an idea as to where they might be. Now, what this is showing us is that with lower than normal heights across Europe, there probably would be a tendency for lower pressure to be here, higher pressure to the north, and more of an east to northeasterly flow through the country, which is what's going to happen this week. So it starts off well, and that gives us good confidence as we take the forecast forward. So this is from the 18th through to the 25th of October. Helps if I can write, doesn't it? Up to the 25th of October. And this shows the higher than normal heights cut off up towards the northwest there. So through Greenland and across to the northwestern parts of Canada. It also shows quite a deep trough here, look, in the Atlantic, with the flow coming up from a south or southwesterly direction. That's actually quite a strong jet stream across the Atlantic as well. So I think what it's trying to hint at is that during this period, yes, will be mild across the country, given that south to southwesterly flow. I think probably fairly unsettled, particularly in the west and the south, where I really think we're going to be seeing some heavier rainfall than we've seen for some time. Up towards the north, though, high pressure holding on, and that probably keeps Scotland drier and also cooler. But I really think that we are going to go into quite a wet spell of weather to close out October. And then this is the period running from the 25th of October through to, when would it be? It's the 8th of November. And you notice that the heights are back to near normal for the time of year. But what I wanted you to spot on this, look, is the strength of the jet stream coming across the Atlantic and into Europe. Now, notice that we've got lower than normal heights towards the east and towards the north of the country, higher than normal in the Atlantic. So probably what we would find is within here some sort of pattern like that. So we get a weak ridge that builds in the Atlantic, then we go west-northwesterly through the UK. And what this would probably do is bring near normal rainfall conditions to the north and to the west, with mixed periods of weather basically. So we'll get a day of rain, day of showers, and then perhaps a day or two of fine weather, but also windier conditions too. But with that flow trying to be nudged around a little bit, it may be that temperatures are around or just a little bit below normal for the time of year. But I think what's interesting from this is no indications of a block trying to get back in again towards the end of the month. I think the CFS probably has got that about right in having to pick that up through the middle to latter stages of November and into December as well. And that's a long-range forecast with scientific credentials to back it up. Of course, that doesn't mean it's going to be right. It could be completely wrong and an absolute load of rubbish. But I want to show you that, and you know that I show you it every week, just to give you a feel for where the models are going, what the latest indications are, and what we can trust from the scientific output as to how the weather may develop. So, once again, thanks for watching. Don't forget we're kept free of charge here at WeatherWeb by the adverts you see around the screen. It's when you come back and use the site and use the adverts that's what keeps us free of charge. So, once again, thanks for watching, and thanks for listening to my rant. But for now, have a great day, whatever you're doing. Keep the sun shining, and bye for now.